I stood in the doorway of our bedroom, suitcase in hand, heart pounding so hard it felt like it might split my chest open. "Sleep in the guest room until you apologize," Emily said, her voice cold, arms crossed like she was the judge and jury of this marriage. Apologize. The word ricocheted in my skull. For what? For daring to question why her phone buzzed past midnight with a man's name I didn't recognize. For asking why her smiles these days weren't for me but for someone on the glowing screen she guarded like a soldier at a gate. I stared at her, the woman I'd shared 12 years with, and felt a chill that had nothing to do with the autumn air slipping through the cracked window. "No," I whispered, and my answer, so simple, so final, was the crack that ended everything. The build-up. Emily and I had been together since college. She was fire, laughing too loud in lecture halls, challenging professors, daring me to jump into lakes in December. I was the quieter one, steady where she was wild. For years that balance worked. I was the anchor, she was the wind. But anchors, I learned, can feel like chains when someone's eyes start wandering. Began small. Nights where she stayed later at work. Business trips that piled up out of nowhere. Her phone flipped face down on the table. When I asked, she'd snap, "Don't you trust me?" in a tone sharp enough to cut. I wanted to trust her. God, I tried. But a marriage isn't built on silence and secrets. And when I saw that text light up her phone, "Last night was perfect. Same time tomorrow," something in me broke. I didn't yell. I didn't throw the phone across the room. I simply asked, "Who's Mark?" She froze, then recovered with a smirk that chilled me. "A coworker. Stop snooping." That night, she ordered me into the guest room like I was a child being punished. But it wasn't just about a bed or a fight. It was a declaration. Her loyalty was no longer mine. The guest room. I lay awake on that unfamiliar mattress, staring at the ceiling fan. The house we'd built together felt like a stranger's. The laughter we'd shared in these walls was replaced by a silence so loud it roared in my ears. Apologize. For asking the truth. My chest ached with a cocktail of emotions. Rage, grief, humiliation. I thought about the years I'd worked overtime to pay off this house, the anniversaries I'd carefully planned, the nights I held her when she cried about things I couldn't fix. And now I was the one exiled. I opened my laptop. My hands trembled, but not with hesitation. If she wanted to play this game, I would not be her pawn. The investigation. I scrolled through our shared accounts, our credit card statements. Receipts don't lie, even when words do. Hotel charges, dinners, flower shops I never saw the bouquets from. And then the pictures. I didn't even have to hack. Just stumbled across an iCloud album she hadn't hidden well enough. Emily, in dresses I never saw her wear for me. Her smile brighter than it had been in months. And beside her, a man I'd never met. His hand on the small of her back like it belonged there. Mark. Felt sick. The betrayal wasn't just in her arms around him. It was in the way she looked at him. That look used to be mine. The confrontation. Morning light spilled into the kitchen. Emily was at the counter, sipping coffee, scrolling through her phone like nothing was wrong. I placed the printed photos on the table. She froze. Her eyes darted to mine, wide for a split second before narrowing. "You went through my stuff. That's what you're worried about." My voice cracked. "Not the fact that you're sleeping with someone else. Not the lies, the sneaking around, the gaslighting." She slammed her mug down. "You don't understand. You're so boring, Daniel. Everything is routines and schedules with you. Mark makes me feel alive again." Alive. The word cut deep. Was I death to her now? "You could have told me you were unhappy," I whispered. "We could have worked on it. Instead, you chose this." Her lips curled, crueler than I'd ever seen. "Maybe you should just apologize and accept that you weren't enough." That was the moment. Line. The match that set everything ablaze. The answer. I picked up my suitcase from the hallway and set it on the kitchen tile. "No," I said again, louder this time. "I won't apologize for catching you cheating. And I won't fight to stay in a marriage where I'm treated like a backup plan. Her smirk faltered. I already called a lawyer, I continued. This house, paid with my inheritance, the accounts, already frozen. You can keep your guest room, Emily. Because I'm done being a guest in my own marriage. Her face drained of color. You can't just leave like that. I can. And I am. The fallout. The divorce was brutal, but not in the way she expected. She thought I'd beg, thought I'd grovel. Instead, I came with evidence, with dates, with proof. Her affair wasn't just betrayal, it was leverage. The house stayed mine. The settlement was minimal. Mark, it turned out, wasn't so keen on being with her once the truth came out. He stopped returning her calls before the ink on the divorce was dry. And Emily, the firebrand who once dared me to jump into frozen lakes, she became a shadow, bitter, lone. The reflection. Some nights I still lie awake in that same guest room, though it isn't the guest room anymore. It's my room now, until I decide to move on completely. The mattress is still stiff, the ceiling fan still creaks. But the air feels different. 'Cause now it's mine. People ask if I regret it, ending 12 years with one word, one answer. The truth. It wasn't the end. It was the beginning. Marriage is supposed to be about two people fighting the world together. But when your partner becomes the one you're fighting against, you've already lost. That night, when she demanded I apologize, she thought she held all the power. But in saying no, I found mine again. And I've never looked back.